So you may be wondering why Bitcoin has surged in price over the past 4 days, and that is what we are going to discuss in today's video, as well as do a market update about what is happening on chain in the trenches. Okay, so if you watched my last market update video about a month ago, I talked a lot about how tariffs were impacting not only the crypto markets, but every market across basically the globe. And right now, there has been a lot of relief on the tariff front, and that is one of the main catalysts for why Bitcoin has been improving. And the reason why tariffs have such a big impact on financial markets is because it usually has a direct impact on inflation, okay? And if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know that I personally believe that Bitcoin is the ultimate hedge against inflation. That is personally why I am buying it and holding it for a long period of time, and I'll explain why in a second. Basically, what you need to think about here is that we actually have no control over how much fiat is really printed. So I live in the US. In my case, it's dollars. If you live overseas, maybe it's euros, pounds, etc. We really don't have any control over how much of that money supply is actually available to the public, right? The government decides how much is printed, when it's printed, etc. So there's always going to be this issue with the value of our currencies being diminished over time because there's more of it that is actually out there and available to everybody. That is mainly what Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are trying to solve for. And also, obviously you can send money in the blink of an eye basically anywhere in the world to anybody with no intermediaries. So basically, the reason why I just explained all of that again is just to basically say that with tariffs being less of a fear factor for individuals, they are more willing to invest in these alternative assets because, they're not as worried about inflation. I talk a lot about how Bitcoin is a risk-on asset, meaning that, people really only want to hold Bitcoin when they feel like everything else in other markets is going to be stable because this is a super volatile asset, right? So whenever things get a little dicey in the rest of the financial ecosystem, Bitcoin is the first thing that they're going to sell. Now that there's less fear about tariffs, people are more inclined to buy it and hold on to it, and that is why we're seeing such a surge in price over the past few days. If you've watched a lot of the videos on this channel, though, you know that I think that this is ass backwards because, in my opinion, whenever inflation fears rise, Bitcoin's price should rise with it, and it should dip whenever inflation fears cool down. But again, a lot of the population still does not actually see Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation, and they don't even really know what that means. So I still think we have a lot of time. And basically, to break that down even further, this means that Bitcoin still has not decoupled from, the rest of the financial ecosystem. And that to me means that we still are pretty early to Bitcoin. And in this scenario, decoupling means that, when people are scared, instead of buying cash with their assets, meaning they sell their assets and get cash, they would be, selling their cash for Bitcoin because obviously as inflation rises, the value of the dollar goes down, right? That would mean Bitcoin would be more valuable because it's a hedge against inflation. I'll stop talking about this now though. Basically, all of this can be summarized with a lot of people don't really buy Bitcoin in a logical sense. They buy it when, everything else in other markets look good because they want exposure to crypto. They don't really necessarily know what Bitcoin is solving for, in my opinion, or else they would be, trading it a lot differently. But if you guys want to hear me talk more about this in detail, let me know in the comments because I'd be happy to make a video. I have a ton of opinions about this. Now, moving on to the trenches and activity on chain. Usually what we see happen whenever Bitcoin has a big surge like this is that there's a trickle down effect. And a lot of money flows into alts. We're already seeing this with Solana. It's at 170 right now. Even ETH is getting a massive pump right now, and Bitcoin dominance is falling pretty heftily, honestly. So these are all really good things for us, people who like to trade on-chain. We should be in for a very fruitful couple of weeks of on-chain trading here, but Monday is probably going to shake a lot of people out. I would assume that there's going to be somewhat of a dip, so be prepared for that. Also, the weekend volume is going to be a lot lower, in my opinion, on this weekend. So, don't get your hopes up too high just yet. Everybody's attention right now is still on Bitcoin, and this needs to calm down a little bit before things start to really pick back up on chain. So we need to see a little bit of a cool down before I think a lot of the money really starts flowing back into, a lot of on-chain assets. But there's also a problem in the trenches right now that I wanted to address to all the people who are new and watching my channel for the first time and haven't seen a lot of my older videos where I talk about this type of stuff. Whenever Bitcoin has a large surge like this and then it trickles down to Solana, this is basically a beacon for every scumbag in the space to, wake back up and get in the trenches so that they can start scamming people again. A lot of people in my Discord community, they have, done really well in the past month, 2 months when, a lot of these people that I'm talking about right now weren't in the space because, they only are here when things look good. They only are here when they know a lot of people are actually trying to trade so that they can, scam as many people as possible. So I need you guys to really understand that the extractors are coming back right now as we speak, and I've already seen it the past 2 days. A lot of the best traders in my Discord community right now have been saying that they have been seeing a lot more junk tokens launch. And I actually saw a really good example of one last night that I'm going to show you guys here in a second. But I really just need you guys to understand that a lot of the people who are launching these tokens have bad intentions. So you really need to now more than ever be vigilant in the tokens that you are buying. And please just don't be one of these people who just spends all of their time and all of their Solana trying to hit a home run in the new launch section when you haven't really fully understood some of the games that these scammers like to play. Okay, apologies for the really rough video here, but I just want you guys to look at the transaction tab on this particular coin. It was called BitRabbit. It was at a $3.5 million market cap. And these are a lot of these scams that people are trying to pull on you guys. They want you to, think that there's a really hot token launch when in reality, the entire thing has been fabricated just to make it look like it is a successful hot launch. And to be honest, I'm seeing more and more of these. Here's another example right now of one. And to be honest, they're all kind of doing different methods, but really what you guys need to be in the habit of doing is actually looking at who the top holders are of these tokens. And it's going to give you a much clearer picture as to what's going on. This isn't even the best example because there are just so many red flags with this particular token. And if you just look at the chart, you can probably tell that it doesn't look natural. So, I mean, there's a lot I could talk about with this one specifically, but what I really want you guys to understand is that when you see the SOL balance on multiple wallets being identical to each other, and same with the amount that they're actually holding being identical to each other, that is one of the easiest ways to tell that a token is completely bundled, full of insiders, and it is literally made to try and steal your money from you. And also, just with common sense, do you really think that people are buying a hot mom token because it's funny or it's relevant or anything of the sort? Just please be on the lookout for a lot of these types of tokens, because I know a lot of people will see that, oh, it's at 2.7 million, this might be a good buy, and look at the chart, it's been going up only. But these are scams. These are manufactured tokens that are trying to take your money from you. And again, I mentioned this in my video about how to actually make money trading meme coins in 2025, but if you are copy trading some of these wallets, then you are literally signing up to get fucking destroyed. It's been a known thing for a while that a lot of these bigger KOLs just use their followers as exit liquidity and they destroy their copy traders, but I have never seen it this bad, to be honest with you guys. And it looks like they are all kind of buying the exact same token. So I'm not sure if they are coordinating these, these token launches and then just purposefully dumping on all of you guys. But please don't be copy trading some of these big KOLs. They know that you guys are buying the tokens that they do, and they are just going to fucking rape you every time. So look, if you're getting decimated in the trenches right now, please, I urge you to try and find value in these higher market cap tokens that have been around for a longer period of time before you try to, figure out what actually works in the new launch section. I mean, Moodeng, a 7-month-old token, just 2x, basically 3x'd over the past 2 days. Same with Pnut. Okay, and these are 6-month-old tokens. Same with FWOG. I mean, you really can find a lot more value than you think in some of these older tokens, and there's a much lower chance that you're going to get rugged, which is the biggest takeaway that you guys should get from this stuff. Personally, the only coins that I'm really buying and holding right now are at least 2 days old. I don't even really care to try and find these new runners because, again, I find a lot of value in these older tokens. So that's personally my strategy. And again, you need to be avoiding these hot mom type tokens that are spending literally $10,000 to boost to the top of the deck screener page so that you guys get tricked into buying them. And if you just want to practice trading with absolutely no risk at all, I have been working on a Memecoin paper trading platform with somebody in my Discord. So go check this thing out. It's completely free to use. You can download it right now and you can get better at trading meme coins with literally no risk. That's basically all I got for you guys today. I really wanted you guys to take away from this video that you need to be careful in the new launch section right now, because honestly, the PvP and the scams are basically as bad as I've ever seen them in this space right now. So please be careful on new launches. That's really not where the value is, in my opinion. Do not lose all of your Solana trading new pairs. Be smart about this. If you want to join a community of people who do this on a daily basis, please hop in my Discord. It's 100% free and it always will be. I will see you guys in there. Have a great weekend and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.